How's it going, everyone? Sunday coffee break. Let's see. This week, let's see. First thing I want to do is get this out of the way. Is that I thought that the new pinball machine that came out was Prince, and then I was corrected from last week's coffee break that it was Elton John, and I was told that I really don't keep up on the new machines, and I really don't, because I've told you time and time again, I am more into the old games than the new games, like the flat tables, drop targets, bumpers. Anyway, let's see. I still got a bunch of crap sitting around here on the counter because yesterday I posted a video on a game emulator that I am starting. Just a kind of a project that I've been wanting to do ever since I've watched Wicked Gamer build one out of an old PC. He's built a couple of them, I think, out of a old PC and an old laptop. Emulator beast, you know, and they're great for 8 and 16-bit. I think most the one I'm going to build will probably run N64 games decently and GameCube games pretty good. Some of the higher demanding games, there's going to be some frame splitting, some glitches and stuff like that, some lag on some of the N64 games. I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to be able to. Excuse me. If it's going to be able to play PS2 games, you really have to get into some, higher end PC equipment to run those games, because they're just too demanding for the processors and that for what I have to work with. I'm trying to use everything I have lying around. I don't think I'll be buying anything new for this, but you never know, might have to. But Wicked Gamer, he built a couple of them, and they're really nice, to have all your games on one console, I guess, so to speak, or one emulator box. That way you don't have to have all your retro game systems. But there's nothing better than playing a retro game on the retro game system that it's designed for. But a lot of people don't want to go out and buy a bunch of game systems, so they'll get an emulator. I'm using Batasura. I'm working on it right now. I got the hard drive ready. I'll do a video probably, the next video on it, like I said, is going to be putting the hard drive to it, and with the operating system, which is, I think it's a Linux 38. I don't know, it's Batasura Linux 38 is the emulator. There'll be a link in the description, along with Wicked Gamer's link in the description for his channel if you want to check him out. He does a lot of AliExpress game system stuff. A lot of the, there's some good stuff out there. He goes through everything. Anything new, he gets it in, he reviews it, tests it, and he tells you if it's total crap or if it's worth, spending the money on it. So he's done a lot of the Pandora boxes and all the different emulators that have a lot of the 8 and 16-bit games on them. They're, it's nice. Like I said, I'm going to probably be running a Xbox 360 controllers off of this one. I'm not sure yet what the plan is. I'm still kicking it around whether to mount everything in an arcade cabinet and I don't know, getting it set up so it'll take quarters, or some of those games, you know, it kind of a rip to play for a quarter. So I may set it up so where you play it, you know, for an hour, you know, like $5 or $10 an hour. You can sit and play old 8 and 16-bit games over at the arcade. I think that'd be kind of, it was kind of my goal all along too, was I don't really want a multicade, but you know, if it calls for it, I may end up with a multicade. I may build my own multicade out of another cabinet and do it that way. There's a lot of good multicade cards out there, you know, 60 games, 30, 20, whatever. But I'd want one that has just strictly all the arcade games on it to put in the arcade. And this one I'm trying to keep it strictly all 8 16-bit home console stuff. Now a lot of the stuff went from console to arcade, but you know, it's where it came from, was the arcade. So he's built quite a few, and you know, this is stuff that I'm using is stuff that you can pick up cheap. I mean, at the thrift stores, the, you know, Salvation Army, Goodwill, secondhand stores, you know, a lot of these old dual core PCs, towers, you can pick up for like, you know, 20 or 30 bucks. You know, and there's always a flat screen monitor sitting around somewhere that you can pick up for about $5. And then you just have to either build it, or you can strip it, strip the hard drive down, format it, and put your Batocero in it, which you have to have your Pi. The Raspberry Pi is the flash that you have to put in it in order to put Batocero in. I'll go over it in the next video. I'll get through all of that. Batocero 2 can be put in just about anything, you know, a little handheld device, anything that you can flash Raspberry Pi onto, you can put Batocero on. Probably saying it wrong, Batocero, but you can flash. Yeah, on the website, if you take a look, you'll see that there's just a mountain of systems that you can put this on. I like the PC base because I think you can get a little more speed and a little bit more compute power, I guess, out of it. Especially if you have an older PC with the 4 RAM slot, which that's what we're using. You know, you can boost it, you know, and get your RAM up there. You can probably get a little bit more performance out of it that way. And then sometime, if you want to, you can stretch it out and put an SSD card in it. I went with a motherboard that has SATA, and that would be, I think, anything around Windows 7 and up. If the PC had Windows 7 in it, or Vista, 9 chances out of 10 it has a SATA. IDE hard drives are really getting hard to come by. And with this, you do not have to use a hard drive. You can use a flash drive. You know, you can put a motherboard down, a power supply, and you can plug a USB thumb drive into it and run the Batocero right off of the thumb drive. But it has to be like about 16 gig or bigger, so you can upgrade it. If you use an 8, it will work, but you cannot put any more ROMs in it. ROMs are your games. So just kind of keep that in mind if you're thinking about building one. Like I said, this stuff's sitting around all over the place, and you know, we can kind of give it a little second, give it a second lease on life by building a game emulator out of it, or out of this stuff, and having some fun with it. That way you don't tie up your PC for your emulators. You can have a separate little entity to run your emulator on. Now, like I said, there's better emulators, game emulators out there. I think Aero I don't know. I looked it up. They had the top 12, and there was a bunch of them in there. They didn't list Batocera as a top emulator because it's an open source, not open source, but an open source software or program, whichever you want to call it. You can, it can be upgraded. You can mess around with it and rewrite and write stuff into it without, any copyright or without it, without it actually being blocked and you can't get into it. A lot of that Raspberry Pi stuff out there is like that. It runs open source. I have a, let's see, I have a game board, System 1, Gottlieb System 1 game board that has a Raspberry Pi on it. And I've been messing around with it, trying to get it all straightened out so I could actually have these on hand for System 1 games. Since we can't get the new boards, there's nobody really that I don't think's building any System 1 game boards. If there is, I haven't seen any for quite a while. So you either have to repair your old one or, go elsewhere. And like I said, this is an open source, and in fact, yeah, I have this is the System 1 game board running Raspberry Pi. It's been a while since I've messed with it. I got busy doing other things, and it's called Lisy 1, Lisy 1. If you look that up, you'll see you can find it that way. You have to buy the board and the chips and everything. You have to do everything yourself on this. Right now, the Raspberry Pis, I kind of held off on it because the Raspberry Pis are becoming a little harder to come by. For some reason, everybody now is doing emulator stuff with Raspberry Pi, so it's getting harder and harder to find Raspberry Pis that are at a decent price. When I bought this one for the first Lisy 1, that Raspberry Pi, I think it's a 4 or a 0. I don't remember. 2017 anyway is this Pi. This one, version 1, nope, 0, Raspberry Pi 0. When I bought that one, it was only $14.95, and that was only like 2 years ago. And when I bought that one, I wanted 4 of them, because I have 2 System 1 Gottliebs and I wanted 2 to put together so I had spares in case I got another System 1. I was limited to only 1 Pi. That's all I was allowed to buy. Anyway, let's move back to the game emulator. The game emulator, like I said, I'm really not... I haven't made up my mind what I'm going to do with it besides play it. I don't know if I'm going to put it in a cabinet or if I'm just going to put it back in a PC tower and play with it that way on a LCD or what I'm going to do. I would rather put it in a cabinet and let other people enjoy it too. Because there's a lot of people out there, kids and all that haven't never played any 8 or 16-bit games. Some Sega, Nintendo, all the moldy oldies and the Neo Geos and that, and what is it, I can't think of that other one. But the PlayStation 1s will play on it just fine. Most of the Nintendos up to, like I said, I think GameCube is still running pretty good on this, but there's some of the games that are just too demanding on Cube. You'll just have too many screen tears, and it just acts really ugly. And a lot of the N64 games too, because a lot of those N64 games were really, really high demanding, like Star Fox, GoldenEye. 007, I think isn't too bad. I think it'll play just fine on it. There may be some glitches and all that, but it's probably still going to be playable. We'll find out once we get everything up and running and see how it does perform. Hopefully it performs well enough that I could put it in a cabinet. I have a really nice LCD out in the shed that I was thinking about using, but I also have that LCD flat panel that I took out of the Skills machine, that the touch screen on it, the touchpad, or yeah, the touch screen on it doesn't work right. Half of it works, the other half doesn't. Let me put it that way. But the screen itself is really nice and crystal clear and looks good. But we'll see. I'm not sure what the resolution is on that one. It may be too low for, because, they didn't put high quality monitors in a lot of those skill games because the life expectancy of them is only about 3 years, and then they're usually been kicked and smashed and crushed and all that. People trying to get in them, people getting mad because they didn't win. The new ones, I know I'm kind of following along here with different things, but hang in there with me. The new ones, new skill machines, have the big, I think it's a 42-inch curve screen on it, and the cabinet's a tall one, really big screen on it. Yeah, they're like 17 grand. It's like, man, you better put that in a location that it gets played a lot. And the guy that owns my machines was telling me that he had 2 of them in a laundromat, and somebody come in the laundromat and trashed them both, trying to get in them to get the money. And so you're out 34 grand because I guess the screens are smashed. They're just, he totaled them. They're junk. So you're out 17 grand a piece for a machine. That's what makes it hard about buying a brand new pinball machine and putting it out on location at 12 to 15 grand. God. But anyway, yeah, Wicked Gamer, he's the one that kind of gave me the idea to do a game emulator. And, I've been selling off a lot of my retro systems because I've got to pay Bill. So this gives me a chance I can get back and play some of them when I have time, or if I want to. But I guess that's enough of the game emulator. Anyway, in the coming weeks, we're going to work on that and get that done. The first video, I was hoping to get through a lot more than what I did in the first one. The stuff sitting around for so long, especially the motherboards, a lot of the caps had dried out and bloated, and the one I thought we had a real good one, I changed the caps on it because it had 5 bloated caps on it, and was getting ready to hook everything up to it, and I looked down on there and there was a black spot on the motherboard, and sure enough the transistor was popped. And I don't mind changing a few caps, but you start putting too much time into a $10 or $15 motherboard when I have a mountain of junk sitting around that I can pull another and keep pulling them out. Like I said, the 5th one, that was the 5th one. I finally found one that was working, and that's one we'll use and go from there. Now I'm going to take a break because somebody sent me a text and I need to find out what's going on. I'll drink a little coffee and do my other thing, and then we'll come back and start over. Well, not start over, but pick it up. All right. Still doing some work over in the retail side. We just about got everything buttoned up the way we want it. Still haven't taken the cooler out yet, and I think I'm going to put some shelves under that window. I'll get you an update on everything that has been done since my last video over there. I'll probably do that when I get started putting the door and building that closet there under the steps so I can get that little area back there all squared away the way I want it. And nobody can get at the pop and, you know, whatever. I got the arcade all straightened out last week and had it open over the weekend and had some people in playing. Not like it used to, you know, during the summer, but hey, at least got some people coming in and enjoying the machines. I did my coffee break there last week because I was over there. And as you can tell, we're back in my slightly cluttered garage. So I've been kind of stuck at home all this week with a stomach virus. So I haven't been, or I should say I can't venture too far from the house. So I wasn't able to get much done over there at all. Like nothing. So Mom's got it open, but you know I think tomorrow I'm gonna go ahead and venture and go over and do some work over there and get something done. Either that, or if not, I'll be out here working on my game emulator, and I could get that kind of buttoned up, I hope. We're going to 3 days a week now. Thursday, Friday, Saturday over at the store and arcade. I don't want to just start out and do 5 days and we sit there for 3 days and do nothing until Friday and Saturday. So we added Thursday so we can just kind of start getting people acclimated that, hey, we're going to be there Thursday. You can, if you need to come in Thursday, you can come in Thursday, and as things pick up, if it picks up more and more during the winter, then we'll add Wednesday, and you know, and just kind of keep adding the days until we're there 5 days a week. Might stretch the hours out or not. When I had the store in town, we always opened at 10, closed at 6. But from 10 to noon is really slow, and from 5 to 6 is really slow. you get some good hours in there, but you know, this is a little different what we're doing now. But we open at noon and close at 6. Now, if there's people that start coming in later on that want to be in the arcade longer than 6 o'clock, then I'll stretch my hours out and stay there longer. I never chase anybody out. If there's people playing the skills or the arcade, excuse me, I just let them go until they're done, and they feel they want to leave, then they leave. And then if it's, you know, I don't care if it's 7 or 8 o'clock, then I'll go ahead and close up then. Because most of the time after 4 o'clock, I'm there by myself anyway. So, you know, I can stay as long as they want. I don't care. We do have new internet. They're starting to put in, let me start from the beginning. Our cable company, which was a real small cable company just for the lake area and all that, was bought by another a little bit bigger cable company. The old cable company just had your regular DSL, and it was kind of unreliable because of around here the equipment is so old, wires, everything, you know, everything's just old here. That's why I always joke around, say we live in bedrock. Can barely get any radio stations and can't pick up any television stations with an antenna unless you put it up, you know, 100 foot with a big light beacon on the top, because I'm kind of situated right behind a mountain or hill, and then Erie is on the other side of it, and that's where we get our radio and television stations out of. But anyway, they bought the cable company a little bit bigger one, little better, and they're putting in FiOS and promising 5G FiOS. So if they do, once that's done, they're going to start letting everybody know. They're going to be kind of doing it in areas, you know, as they get it done. They'll get everything all switched on, and then you'll be informed that FiOS is now available. And once FiOS is available right here at the house or at the store, I'm going to put FiOS, we'll get FiOS in, and then I can probably start going live. Not that I'm dead, but, you know, I can come on live and do some live feeds every now and then. And I'd really like to do my Sunday coffee break live, so I can make a fool out of myself and can't edit it out. And then I can talk with you people too. You people? Talk with the subscribers, the community. And, you know, and then you can ask me some questions, and, you know, and I can pretend like I know the answer and give you something. But I used to do some lives on my other channel when I was doing the ENS unit reviews, and it's so terrible. I mean, I would be talking, somebody would ask a question, it would come across, I'd see the question, and by the time I seen the question, they're leaving. I mean, there was like almost a 5-minute lag. Maybe not that bad, but there was like a 2 or 3 minute lag between, you know, the video and all that, and it just doesn't make for a good video, good live feed. So I stopped doing them, and I never did do any live feeds on here or on Bald Guy Garage. I've thought about trying live feeds with my phone over at the arcade, but because even out here, you know, I have Verizon, and I have 4 bars, but sometimes it's not reliable. It'll say 4 bars, and then it'll drop the internet. So I've never tried it with the phone. I don't have a mount for it, you know, and it's kind of hard to walk around like this or like this and look at a laptop, and, you know, so you need somebody to run the phone while you run your mouth. But I'd like to do some live feeds and see how that goes too as well. You know, I know I get discouraged with YouTube, but, you know, it is what it is. I enjoy doing it, so that's why I keep doing it, even though, you know, I'll never be monetized. So I just enjoy doing it, and I enjoy getting the comments and questions, and, you know, people telling me, hey, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're doing, you know, just have fun stuff. That's just makes your day when people tell you you're an idiot. Let's see what else. I have a list sitting right down there. Got smart this time. Let's see. Oh yeah, Thursday. Yesterday. Today's what? Friday. Today's the 3rd. No, it was Wednesday. November 1st was our first snowfall. I posted that video earlier. I think, when did I put that one out? Wednesday. Yeah, because it was Wednesday morning, and I had already had a video, excuse me, that got posted. And I waited until evening to post that one, to give that one a chance, so it didn't get kind of overlooked, which I wasn't expecting a whole bunch out of that one anyway. But yeah, we got about 4 inches of snow was on the van. Everything else was, you know, not a whole lot. There's probably still about 2 inches on the ground because the ground's so warm. yet. And yesterday it finally all melted. This morning it was we still had some ice dripping off the roof. As it warmed up today, it got in the 50s. But when you see snow, you know what's coming. The cold weather. I mean, we're into November, so we're only what, about 3 weeks away from Thanksgiving. Holidays are coming up quick. I mean, we get through the holidays. I mean, you know, you get through Thanksgiving and then Black Friday, the end of the month, and then next thing you know, it's December, and you're looking at, you know, only 3 weeks away from Christmas, and then New Year's, and then January and February are here. And those are the worst months. There's just absolutely nothing going on. Still got some football playoffs, but I stopped watching football years ago. Coldest months of the year, January and February. All you can look forward to is March, and then that means spring. But same thing, this summer went by so stinking fast. We were closing, and I was thinking, kind of felt like we just opened up about 3 weeks ago. Summers go quick, and winters, they still go quick enough for me because I can find enough stuff to do to keep me occupied, and I'm not sitting being bored. You know, when you're sitting around being bored, that's when everything kind of moves so slow. But yeah, I'm gonna move to 3 days a week. Still doing some work over in the arcade, or in the retail. I'll start doing some more work in the arcade, and still got work to do upstairs. At least over there I have heat, so I can go over there anytime and work and not be bored. Out here I have to wait till, you know, at least it's in the 30s before I can come out here and do something. When I was doing that video on the game emulator, I think it was, what was it? It was 34. And, you know, it wasn't too bad. I've always been kind of used to the cold. It doesn't really bother me. In fact, I like cool weather more than I do hot weather. I'd rather it be in the 60s and low 70s than that nasty 80s and humid stuff. So I love the cool weather. Okay, I'm going to take another break, and then we'll probably come back and talk a little bit more and then finish up. I was just having some coffee and doing my other thing, and was looking at my claw machine over here, and I thought of a little story that I have. I have a Tekken 3 arcade in storage. It's working, all that. I just don't have room right at the moment to bring it out to the arcade. I had that on Marketplace probably, how long? Probably 2 years ago. When I first got it, I got it all put together. It's down, way down in my playlists of me redoing that one. It's when you could actually see in the garage and see, you know, from one end to the other. And I redid that cabinet, got that all working, and I put it on Marketplace for $600. Best offer or trade. And this kid, I take it was a kid, messaged me and said, I have a claw machine that I would be willing to trade for the Tekken 3. Okay, well, let's see. I told him, well, claw machine's not worth as much as the Tekken 3 is, but let me see what you got. Send me some pictures. So he sent me some pictures of this claw machine that the guts were out of it. They were all laying down in the bottom. Glass was missing. There was no marquee on it. And the control was gone. It was either gone or laying inside of it or something. I can't remember. It was a total basket case, really. I mean, you got a cabinet, and then you had to try and figure out if anything of the stuff that came with it goes to it and actually works or what. I laughed, and I sent him a message back. I said that claw machine's only worth about $75. And he messaged me back and he says, so do you want to trade? I thought to myself, well, duh. No. I did tell him that. I said, I'll give you $75 off on Tekken 3. He messaged me back. He says, oh, I wanted to trade even up for it. Oh, duh. No way in hell. I told him, I said, no. That's why I don't like Marketplace. Yeah, I mean, you're going to, even that claw machine fixed at that time, fixed and working was only like $200 to $300 if you're lucky, working at that time. Now, claw machines are worth a lot more now than what they were then. But I don't know if Tekken 3 has gone up any. I haven't looked. And after that kind of soured me on Marketplace, and I don't put anything on there if I can help it. And I do put a few things on Marketplace now and then if I have something that I know is, that people will actually pay for. But yeah, do you want to? Oh, no, I want to trade even up. Yeah, like that. Makes you wonder about people. But I guess we're in a society where you try and get in everything for nothing. But I guess you can't fault him for trying. Yeah, here's your trophy. At least you participated. But hopefully this week's a little better. I can get out. Which I'm going to. I don't care. Strap a Depends on and head out the door. I got to go over and get something done over at the arcade. I'll probably go over tomorrow. At least once I get there, I got a bathroom there. Doesn't mean I'll get much work done, but at least a bathroom. But anyway, I think that's going to be it for this week. Not much else going on. I mean, I've kind of went over everything I had on my list and then some, and hopefully I can get some more, a bigger list for next week. I hate doing coffee breaks, under a half an hour. I like them to at least be over that. At least kind of give you, something. I mean, I like doing them. It's just coming up. I just don't have that type of a mind to come up with things to talk about in front of a camera. But the more I do this, the more I kind of start getting into it and figuring things that I should be telling you that I'm not, and going over stuff that I did in videos that I thought I should have said during the video and didn't, and your light is flashing, so you may shut down here at any time and I'll have to change your diaper. The vibratory cleaner, that. I didn't trash it. I just kind of put everything in a box. If I come across a motor that we can retrofit into that, because I do want to use one, so I will. I'm still looking around. You know, I keep thinking I have a couple of those little, a smaller motor that we can retrofit into that and get that thing working. Just kind of, it's coming across it in my mountains of crap that I have around here, out in the warehouse, over at the old shop, and down at the old shop, and you know, so there, I, I make, I may have one. Now a fan motor for like a house fan, I think is going to be too many RPMs. Plus that's a variable. I need an on-off motor. I mean, we can do away with the variable speed, but I think the variable speed's different windings in the motor. Is it? Hell, I don't know. Might be that they just changed the voltage through a flux capacitor. But I know I have a small motor. I can put a furnace blower fan in it, motor. About that big. You turn that sucker on and it'll walk all over the place. You probably throw something in there to clean and you open it up, it'll be gone because it'll just wear it away. It'd be like one of those quickies, you know, you throw it in there, turn it on, open it up, it's clean. I'm busted up though. But we'll see what I can come up with. I want to get that going. Just kind of disappointed in it. Bought that at the auction. So I shouldn't be disappointed, you know how auction stuff is. But that is useful for cleaning small parts for pinball machines. For even carburetor parts, you know, little levers, anything that needs to be cleaned up and looking better or working better. Whatever. Now I'm rambling. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed the coffee break this week, and I hope to see you next Sunday on Sunday Coffee Break. So until then, have a great week. See ya.